what's going on, everybody? I'm Sherlock, founder of Sketch Pro Studios and your host on Business Mastery Show. It's the show with business idols and their strategies. And today we're joined by Adele Farhadian. She is a master of cybersecurity. That's how much I know her. She has been in industry for 15 years. She has an MBA. She has more than 12 industry-related certificates. And she, as far as I know, she has worked with clients all the way from private sector to government. Adele, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Hi, to Sherlock and everybody, all the audience. Thank you so much for having me. This is super exciting.
It's very nice to have you here. So Adele, let's get started. Tell us a little about yourself and your business. Who are you and what do you do?
Absolutely. So my name is Adele. As you said, I am working at a company called Mobia. So Mobia, M-O-B-I-A. It started in Nova Scotia. We just started our Vancouver office. We're super excited. I'm the senior cybersecurity or IT security architect there. I do a range of stuff from risk assessments, privacy impact assessments, vulnerability assessments, penetration testing, the governance, security governance, and also security or compliance or privacy compliance readiness type of work. And I've been in business or in this industry for 15 years. I hold many certifications. I started while I was doing my MBA in e-commerce. As part of that, we had a security course. And in the security course, I fell in love with security first. And then my professor at some point told us that, security is going to make a lot of money for a long time. People are going to be super happy in this industry. And I'm like, ding, 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 money time. So I'm like, yeah, I'm all in. So I started my security career since then. Been a very fun journey. Really recommend it to folks that are just starting in technology to maybe consider security.
That's brilliant. So my question would be, I'm sure it's been a very long road for you. So I know you have been in this industry for a very long time because I know you personally, but the question I think most people who are thinking of starting a career like yours have is that, where did you begin? If you wanted to outline the steps that you took in the last 15 years, the courses that you took, the skills that you gained through time, the skills that were necessary, well, how would you outline that for our audience?
That's a great question. It keeps coming up all the time. So I personally, this is what happened for me, and or these are the steps I took. I'm sure there's many other ways that you can do this. But because I started from MBA, while I was doing my MBA, and something is skill that it built for me, which is more of a softer skill, I would say, is that, I understand business side very well. And that is a very big differentiator between me and a lot of the other, competitors or other security folks or techie people, because a lot of us in the tech industry, we have issues understanding business and relate to them and relating what we talk about to business. So the business understands and can actually invest on it, right? So for example, what I say is that in security, the ROI, return of investment, is hidden. And because you don't really feel it till you've been attacked. And that's when you say, oh, wait, I didn't put the proper security measures in place. And then, so here it is. So, yeah, you never feel ROI. And if you're doing well, you never feel it. So the business says, we're sure we need to spend this much money. Yes, because you haven't been attacked. And that's your ROI. But if you have been attacked, then it means that you haven't done this stuff that you had to do. So anyway, I'm just like running through that scenario to say that understanding business side is very, very important. And the other thing that I did was I started, because I also wanted to immigrate while I was building my career, I started investing on a lot of globally known, accredited, and credible certifications. So not something that would only work in or be credible in my own home country or be known in Canada, which was the destination I wanted to go to. I wanted something that would work for different industries. I wanted stuff that would work with different countries, different regulations, because my industry works with regulations stuff as well. So I would say, start there and build up.
You actually pretty much answered all the questions that I had. So
yeah, I'm a bit
now I'm thinking of just what else can I come up with.
You don't really need to ask the question.
Now, there is a fact that industry to industry, things are a little different. So in some certain industries, people can start their own businesses without much experience or without much of a resume. In some other industries, you need to build up your name, sort of, working with different firms, working at different locations. So in your industry, if you want to give a piece of advice to people who are at the beginning of the line and they want to start and eventually get where you are with a well-known security architect, you have your own firm. So if you want to give one piece of advice to these people, what would you tell them? And do not tell them don't do it, because I had this question from with another interview, and the person says my only advice is don't do it. So what
that person is a doctor? Because my dad is a doctor, and that's what he says.
Yes, that person was a dentist.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's fun. Anyway, yeah. Okay, so my industry building experience is actually not that hard, at least in security, and is specific in specific avenues of security. Because in security there are 11, 12 domains. There are different things you can do, and in some ways it's not that hard to build up experience. It doesn't mean that you know it all. In security, you never ever know it all. It's exactly like being a doctor. You can never say you know it all. So the way I, like, for example, I'll walk through a scenario, because that's how my brain works. And I've walked through this scenario many times, so it's not hypothetical. It's actually a real thing. A lot of people who are newer in my industry, they come to me and they ask me to kind of mentor them or look at their resume and say, how to improve it and stuff like that. And I've done it many times. And one thing that I look at is how do you actually position yourself as an expert, right? Even if you've been in the industry for a year, or even if you're fresh out of school or whatever, right? They don't say much. They don't build up on the story that they're telling the employer, right? So they just say, I'm out of school and no experience, or I've been I don't know, a waiter at whatever restaurant. So I completely disagree. Like, you have to build up. So I talk a lot about their projects at school. So what type of project it was, what type of lab they built, what was in the lab, and now they're sitting on the bench. They're waiting for somebody to hire them. What do they do now? Do they have a lab at home? Labs can be for free. You don't have to pay a whole bunch of money to actually make a lab for yourself and start hacking away. And obviously you don't go outside and start hacking whoever, but you make a lab. And also there are a lot of labs out there that are for free now. So you can register for many companies, like, for example, hackthebox.eu. It's a European company. They have free access to a lot of vulnerable machines that you can start working with. And they also have VIP, which is like 10 euros a month, I believe, at this point. So it's cheap, or you can just do it for free. And there's a lot you can do, even if you have only stuck to like whatever project the school has provided. You can still build up on that and say, how many users you had, what was the scenario, how much did you spend money, or how much did you save money for the hypothetical company, and stuff like that. So there's lots of ways that you can talk about your experience and still be truthful.
So if you want to select one thing that stands out as the biggest obstacle that you had to overcome in the path to your career, what do you think that was?
Oh, it was being a woman in this industry. It's sad to say it, but it's true. Um, to learn who I want to be and how I want to project myself and be the person I am, it took me so long. In the beginning, I was really, I would stay away. I'd be really quiet. I would keep my comments to myself. I would play really safe. You know, maybe it was culturally what I was raised to do or be or whatever. Especially working in you know, working culture is very different from where I came from. So maybe that, but it took me quite a long time. And a lot of times I failed myself. A lot of times the companies I worked at failed me. A lot of times, you know, people I worked with failed me. So there was a lot of emotions going on. But then now eventually I realized how to be myself and still be respectful and be respected. And so that took me a while being a woman, you know, because first I decided not to show any emotions, be really, you know, hardcore and stuff like that, and stay away from my femininity. And then after a while, I decided, no, this is who I am, and you know, I don't need to be disrespected because of it. So it took me a while, but now I realized that I just need to have fun with who I am and what I do, and be out there and be completely open about it. And so I attract the people I want to work with and love to work with now because of the way I'm true to myself, you know. So
Thank you so much for sharing that with us, because, well, ultimately the goal of this show is to tell people who want to start to have a career like yours what obstacles they might have to face, and this is definitely one of them. It's a sad story, but it is true. And I don't mean to be taking much of your time, so before we bring it to an end, tell us, Adele Farhadian, what's happening in your life, what's happening in your career, where do you see yourself in the next 6 months to a year?
that's awesome. So I'm with Mobia, as I mentioned, and love the company, and you know, love the people there. You know, I don't know if you've heard, but Nova Scotian people are amazing, and we just attract more and more amazing people, like across all the offices across Canada and US. And so it's really exciting to work with them. What I told you what I'm doing, and you know, I'm very excited with to work with more and more clients and you know, build their security from ground up, or just improve what they have and build up on that, and help them with you know, fixing their security posture. I am working more on my penetration testing skills, and so I guess in the next little while I'll be taking more of some of the other techniques that I want to tap into, and it's been a really fun journey. And you know, so just continuing on that. I sometimes thought about like getting out of security, but I'm like, no, this is just it. You know, I'm probably stuck for life.
Great. Best of luck with your venture. So everybody, if you are a person at the beginning of the road of becoming a cybersecurity talent of the future, this is a person to follow. I will leave the links to the services and the companies that Adele mentioned. They will be all in the comment section. Again, Adele Farhadian, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.